A Tuesday morning it was then. Andy and I set off from the busy, bustling little harbour at Mevagissey, heading north towards China Clay Country. Well, you can tell from my woolly beanie that it's a chilly April morning as we set out from Mevagissey. Our picture postcard snuggled round the harbour Cornish village, South Cornish village. Great to be back out. This is 350 miles done from Minehead, well up into the 30 plus days of walking, and you can begin to taste or smell or sense the end of version 1 of our walking of the mighty Southwest Coast Path. Guidebooks will tell you it's 630 miles. It ain't. It's more, because you never start exactly on it and you never finish exactly on it. So there's always bits to add on at the beginning and the end. And my guess at the moment is we'll come in about 700 miles overall. What an achievement! Well, Andy and me just had a bit of barbed wire avoidance action. There's a clear path that we were on. You can see it there. But you get to that gate and it's no thoroughfare. So I've had to limbo beneath this bit of barbed wire here, avoiding the nettles. Picked a great day to... Actually, there are not nettles there. I was perfectly... there's some stingers there. So I managed to avoid stinging myself with my shorts on. Andy's made it too. Well, having survived the first of many encounters with barbed wire on today's walk, we headed north towards Pentewan. Both of us somewhat not, having to go inland and walk along a road around another huge holiday park. Good luck to the folks in there, but for the life of me, I can't understand why the Southwest Coast Path doesn't take us through it. Hey ho, on we tramped. So this cunning little harbour here is Pentewan. The local culp is called Piskie Cove, which I rather like. Cornish version of pixie, imps and all those sorts of small folk. The harbour's probably seen all the action it's ever going to see. And lots of industrial type units here, converted into residences, I guess. Slightly Orwellian names here. Unit 7, Unit 8. Bit of a change from Seaview Cottage. But, yeah, it's a place that's had a lot of activity in the past and perhaps not so much now, apart from inevitable tourism. Here's the holiday house. The Harbour Master's Cottage. That's rather lovely. I like that. And around the corner we go, heading towards Pentewan Beach. Andy's been delighted because there's quite a lot of padlock action going on. Not a lot of delight so far on this walk going north from Mevagissey. Pentewan was a minor thrill, and just had a real slog up, and I was hoping, when I was looking ahead, that we were hugging the cliff top for quite some while, and I've just got to this point, and Andy's just about to get the same vibe, where an unexpected and seriously incised valley is Andy says what it's all about. Bastard. There it is down there. And Mr. Positive is say bring it on.
Yeah.
Give me 6 more before we get to Blackhead. Well, a bit of an issue there, walking fans. Just went off piste. Just picked up a bit too much speed coming down. In the fucking brambles I went. So some superficial scratches on my legs. Pride still intact. Well, I still haven't got down this set of steps. Reached Blackhead. I'd just about recovered from my fall by now, and Andy and I looked upon the memorial stone to A.L. Rouse, a fearful intellectual snob, brilliant man, great scholar, and born of humble stock apparently. But he came in later years to become a despicable human being with ghastly views about what he referred to as the scrounger and slacker society. Oddest of all, he once stood as a prospective MP for the Labour Party. Well, a lot of today's walking has been like this. It's quite nice to be sheltered from the stiff breeze, but you don't get to see a lot. You feel like you're walking in a tunnel of barbed wire to the left and shrubby hedge to the right. So, not the most inspiring. Well, we're approaching Pentewan, and blimey, this is up and down. Hard work, and we've got another one to do. I noticed the sign springs alongside the path, which can only mean one thing, that we're going down, and this is hard work today. Not quite got my walking legs in full groove, but that might just be the passage of time. Well, this is what lies ahead of me. There's that little valley to drop right down into and then come up the other side, more steps. Hopefully along the top of that cliff towards that beach tucked in a little cove there, that's Pentewan, Carrickgowl Point. And then I'm hoping relatively easy walking on from there towards our final destination, which is coming into view now. The furthest beaches you can see, that's Par. Seeping out the ground is the start of this little unnamed stream. Very close to Pentewan, and delightfully on the Ordnance Survey map, this is an area marked on as springs. Well, they're springing. Very near to Charleston. Lots of swanky houses, and just check this out. Is it really necessary? It looks like a bloody prison camp. Barbed wire, double fence, private, caution, residents only. I fucking hate ignorance at times, and I am one. What is the need? I just don't want you to see in these people. Well, I can see them in my camera, so I can see what you're doing. You absolute tossers. So this is Charleston. And it's a China clay harbour, and you can see on the skyline distinctive pyramidal peak of a big mound of basically quartz and feldspar and mica, the waste from the China clay mining. China clay is kaolinite, which is a product of chemical alteration of the feldspar and the granite, which I guess you all knew. And it's washed out by water, dried, refined a bit, stuck into trucks, and would have been brought down to probably by a tramway down to this harbour and shipped out. Still a massively important raw material, and one of the few things still mined in Cornwall. I've kind of got over my rant about the ridiculous fencing around the coastal properties just back. But I may come back to that because it's one of the things that just bugs me. I tend to take an irrational dislike to the name Charles. I wonder why that might be. Anyway, I digress. Charleston, a handsome enough place, still has some activity related to China clay, and it's home to some beautiful tall-masted ships also. Just felt a little bit twee to me. We lunched here on a bench with no view of the beautiful harbour. It seemed difficult to find anywhere to sit in this place. But on the way into the village, I very much enjoyed meeting Sonia and Kelvin once again from Hale. Andy and I lunched and moved on into the final part of our day's walk, and somewhat dispiriting a walk it was too, sadly. Okay, we had some fun watching the golfers on the Carlisle golf links. A rather bleak looking cliff top course, very popular in its day apparently. Much more interesting to me were the old drying sheds of what was once English China clays. Like everything else in modern Britain, it's been flogged off to companies and investors from abroad. This seems to me to be somewhat tragic and all too typical of the used car sales merchants that have been running this country for far too long. So English China Clays, as it once proudly was, is now owned by a French company with connections into the Rothschilds. Nevertheless, I enjoy walking around this particular part of Par. Less so the inland detour, which took us into the mean streets of Par itself and eventually spitting us back out at Par Sands, having gone round yet another holiday park. Ahead of me, it looks rather more active. There's industrial noise emanating from what I hope are active drying sheds or processing. We shall see. Well, I've just got back to the car. Mevagissey to Par. It won't be my top 10 of walks on the SWCP. It really won't. Very tired. 14 miles we've walked according to the OS map. And the guidebook says 11. And that's a bunch of bullshit. That was hard. Boring because most of the time we were in little like alleyways of trees and shrubs and fences and stuff. Far too many steps. Charleston was quite a nice spot to be, so it's in my bottom 5. Sorry, walking fans.
Yes. Concur with all of the previously mentioned statements.
We're off one.
Yeah.
We're going home.
Well, via Mevagissey.
Via Mevy. Not a day that will live long in the walking memory. Perfectly fine, it has to be said. Nothing to draw me back, really. And the barbed wire, lads, the barbed wire, it's gotta go for heaven's sake. Tomorrow promises much more, and I'm in definitely du Maurier mode already.